What is up, guys? Rick Cack is here, and today we have a bunch of brand spanking new Destiny 2 news, courtesy of the Bungie Weekly update that has just gone live and has unveiled a bunch of new official Destiny 2 information. And so, let's just get right into this. The raid launches tomorrow. Scourge of the Past launches tomorrow. Earlier today, Bungie released a gameplay trailer. So we've got a new look at Scourge of the Past, some new things kind of revealed in that trailer. If you want to see the trailer and my breakdown of it, that's linked up above. But something involving those of us who are going after this day one completion. I know I definitely am. I'm grinding my butt off right now. Bungie has unveiled the rewards going along with this raid. So here they are. If you complete the Scourge of the Past within the first 24 hours, you will get the Scourge of Nothing emblem shown at the top. If you complete it before December 12th at 9 a.m. Pacific, so before reset in the upcoming Wednesday, you have a chance to redeem this raid jacket. I hope I do, then I'll have 2 raid jackets. And also, of course, the big belt is for the team that beats this raid first in the world. Whatever 6 fire team members are accompanying that crew will get the raid belt. So the emblem and the jacket are definitely acquirable for those of you out there potentially still grinding 620 plus. You know, that's definitely some cool stuff there. However, for those of you on the lower end of grinding, perhaps you're not 600 yet, there is some news that's going to apply to you quite a bit. When patch 2.1.2 launches on December 11th, any players under 600 power will have prime engrams drop not only more frequently, but at larger power bumps. So it's going to help those people from the soft cap of 500 all the way to 600 level up a lot more quickly. And therefore, they're going to be able to participate in like the new Forge activities and so on. So that's actually a pretty big change. But moving on from there, there's also changes coming to the Crucible, and these are actually pretty big. Anyone listening who plays comp, these are super big. So, firstly, Bungie does say that they plan on improving the matchmaking so that, for example, if you're solo, you're not going to go against stacked teams as much. If you have low glory, you shouldn't be matched against high glory people. So they didn't really elaborate beyond that, but expect matchmaking improvements coming in the future. The main change here that's going to arrive very soon is heavy ammo spawn changes. So it's been reduced across the board in comp. Here are the changes for control, clash, and survival. And you can see, you know, like 45 seconds to 120 seconds, power ammo is going to be a lot less plentiful in these playlists. But moving on from there, in terms of rotating playlists, they have also been impacted. So Showdown and Rumble, as you can see, their heavy ammo spawn timers have been reduced as well. So definitely, if you were angry, if you were upset, if you were annoyed even at getting spammed by Warcliffe coils and all that stuff, that should definitely be reduced heavily in those playlists. Moving on from there, Bungie actually took some time to talk about some of the future changes we could see, talking about some of the feedback they're getting and how they plan to address it. Now, this isn't necessarily going to arrive in the very next update on December 11th, but after that and going into 2019, these are the changes we should expect to see. So, first and foremost, of course, the call to buff snipers, and Bungie responds, snipers are one of the archetypes we are actively looking at and making changes to. For example, later in January, rapid fire snipers will be moving to a 2-shot body kill. Additionally, we are considering allowing more snipers to be able to one-shot supers on headshots in a future patch. Lower zoom scopes do exist in the game, but have not been particularly prevalent, oh my goodness, try saying that 5 times in a row, with post-Forsaken weapons and have been largely limited to a few weapons, like the Supremacy, but will be increasing the number of them in the game as we move forward. So more low zoom scopes and also buffs to snipers, increasing the damage on especially the fastest firing archetype will, I think, make a difference. So hopefully snipers rejoice, you'll finally have your toys back in the meta. Now, then we move on to Nova Warp. This has kind of taken over the Crucible as one of the most dominant supers right now, and they say, yup, the Nova Warp super is too dominant right now, and we're planning to tweak it. It's currently slated to land with a patch coming in late January. All you need to do is make it so that you can't tank as much damage. Like, it takes a while to charge up that little explosion. If you could shotgun melee kill a Nova Warp, in my opinion, you'd solve a lot of its problems. But moving on from there, we have the statement, Spectral Blade's hit detection feels much more consistent. Can Sentinel and other melees get the same treatment? Bungie replies, we definitely want all melee supers to feel as good and reliable as possible. This is something we're looking into. The next statement, a lot of the pre-Forsaken subclasses feel underpowered now. Can they get buffed? With Bungie responding, yes. We have some planned buffs coming to older subclass paths in the patch currently slated for late January. This seems like the big sandbox patch coming in late January that's going to impact a lot of things. But we are already looking ahead at what we'd like to do in patches further down the line. We will be regularly looking into tuning subclass content to ensure that there's a healthy balance of viable choices in all activities. We use a combination of data and community feedback to track the right things to fix. So please continue to surface which choices feel the least viable to help guide us. Next topic. Any changes to the top exotics being used in the Crucible, like the One-Eyed Mask, Shards of Galanor, etc. So they say these exotics get talked about quite a bit, and while I don't have any immediate incoming changes to share, I expect that they will get looked into in the future. Next topic. Telesto is currently the besto. Can you tone it down or move it to the power slot? So they say late in January yet again, so this is that big patch. You will find that Telesto's bolts to kill will now match its charge rate, where it was previously doing more damage than other fusion rifles of its type. That said, due to it being affected less by damage fall off due to its explosive nature, it will still be more consistent than fusion rifles of the same charge rate. Worth noting, PvE damage will be increased to keep parity there, thank goodness. Once we see how these changes land, we can decide if and what to do next. The goal still being to buff where we can, but when we have to nerf, you're going to find us trying to inch down instead of going nuclear at least as much as we can. That is really good news because that was the Destiny 1 approach. Like, absolutely kill anything that was in the meta, and very rarely would we find buffs. I really like what they're doing in Destiny 2 overall most recently. Moving on from there, scout rifles still feel weak in both PvP and PvE. Can they come up? This is another archetype we are looking at, and I currently expect to see changes show up in future patches. Fantastic. Could SMGs get non-precision damage buff? We just recently buffed the ranges on SMGs to make them more competitive. We'll be monitoring the data and feedback for a bit to help us decide where to take them next. If we find they still aren't good enough, we'll be happy to buff them further. I would still like to see a buff. The shotgun apes are crazy, and buffing SMGs to make them more consistent at gunning down those people would help them go away. Next topic, can fusion rifles get buffed? Maybe longer range or higher damage to combat shotguns. This is another archetype we are looking at, and I would currently expect to see changes show up in future patches. We did bring up the damage of rapid fire fusion rifles in the 2.1.0 update last week. Any plans to adjust the wave splitter is the next question. It's not at the top of our list, they basically say, but we're looking into it. They're going to look at the global economy for trace rifles in general as well. Alright, now this is a big one to finish us off. Titan skating is rampant on PC. Do you plan to remove it? They say we'd like to fix this, however, we're being careful about how we do so because it's closely tied to the core feel of the lift ability. In other words, we don't want a Titan skating fix to change the way the lift ability feels for all players. We'd love to have a simple fix to this issue that we could roll out immediately, but this one is going to take us a while to land on something solid. So, you know, PC players, unfortunately, no concrete date on when that is coming. And moving on from there, the last thing we're going to cover is that Bungie shared this crazy image of the Dawning with that That sparrow is just something else. That I definitely want one of those, and we can see a little bit of a better look at especially the Titan's new dawning armor here. I did do a video kind of talking about some of the data mine stuff in the Armory for all of the different armor sets coming in the dawning, as well as a look at the dawning machine gun coming as well. Check that out if you want to. But yep, this looks like a pretty fun event, and it's going to launch on December 11th with the next update. Guys, that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCactus. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.